Have you ever noticed how the moment you stop chasing her, the moment you stop texting, calling, or giving her that constant attention, something inside her shifts? Almost instantly, the laughter fades, the smug confidence disappears, and the subtle panic begins. That's the power of silence. That's the invisible pull that most men will never understand. Most men give, and women take. Until suddenly, there's nothing to take. And that's when reality hits. It's not magic, it's psychology. Women are wired to value what they can't control, what slips through their fingers. When a man suddenly steps away, when he shows self-respect over convenience, it triggers a deeply primal response, a cocktail of curiosity, desire, and fear. You see, attraction isn't built on endless attention or validation, it's built on challenge, unpredictability, and the sense of scarcity. Here's the truth they don't tell you. Constant availability kills attraction. Being too eager, too present, too compliant triggers comfort, but comfort is not desire. Desire needs tension. Desire needs uncertainty. When you cut her off even briefly, the emotional vacuum you leave behind activates something that men rarely see: cognitive dissonance. She starts questioning herself. Why isn't he chasing me? Did I do something wrong? Does he even care? That doubt, that tiny twinge of insecurity, is what starts the domino effect. And it's not just her mind, it's her body reacting too. Dopamine spikes, cortisol rises, the same chemicals that drive obsession. She feels the pull, the inexplicable need to reach out, to reclaim what she fears losing. Your silence becomes more powerful than any words you could have spoken. You're no longer competing with other men, because for a moment, there's no competition. There's only you, absent, leaving a void she suddenly can't ignore. Many men make the mistake of thinking they need to manipulate or play games to trigger this effect. But that's not it. It's not manipulation. It's mastery over your own worth. Women sense authenticity like radar. When you are truly indifferent, when your world does not revolve around her validation, she can't help but take notice. She doesn't want to admit it, and she might try to rationalize it away. But the truth is written in every glance, every fleeting thought. She feels the loss before she understands it. Here's the kicker. The regret doesn't just come from losing attention, it comes from missing out on your time, your energy, your presence. She begins to attach value to the man who shows he has a life, a mission, and standards that she cannot easily meet. That's the invisible law of female psychology most men overlook. You stop filling her world, and suddenly your absence speaks louder than 1,000 texts. That silence becomes unbearable, like an echo she cannot escape. And that's where true power lies, not in chasing, pleading, or explaining, but in the deliberate, confident act of withdrawing. It's a lesson in self-respect disguised as a relationship tactic. The moment you stop being a resource she can consume at will, everything changes. She experiences regret, sometimes immediately, sometimes after days or weeks. But one thing is certain, when a man masters silence, he becomes unforgettable. Now think carefully. Have you ever been the man who vanished, even for a day, and noticed how she reacted? How it shifted everything in ways words never could? That's the power of absence. That's what most men fear, but every man who understands female psychology eventually learns to wield. Here's something most men will never fully grasp. Women don't just regret losing attention, they regret losing the man who couldn't be tamed. It's the one who doesn't bow to her moods, who doesn't bend to her timelines, who doesn't respond on command. That tension, that space, it creates a mental itch she can't scratch. And the more she resists, the louder the regret grows inside her. Think about it. When you're constantly there, available, predictable, she has no reason to appreciate you. Your presence becomes a background hum, ignored, taken for granted. But when you step away, even subtly, she notices every little thing she's been missing. Your laughter, your energy, the way your mind works, your standards. Absence shines a spotlight on your value, revealing a man she didn't know she could lose. And that's where the regret starts to whisper, then scream. This isn't about cruelty, it's about truth. Women are emotional creatures, and their emotions are intensified by contrast. When she's used to constant access, the sudden withdrawal creates a psychological vacuum. Her brain starts replaying every shared moment, every laugh, every subtle connection. What was once ordinary becomes extraordinary because you are no longer there to make it ordinary. That shift triggers deep reflection. Did I take him for granted? Did I push him away? Could I have done something differently? And here's what most men miss. The regret is not just emotional, it's physical. That pull, that craving for attention and connection triggers a fight-or-flight response in her subconscious. Dopamine, oxytocin, and cortisol create a storm of desire mixed with anxiety. She begins to feel your absence before she can even put it into words. It's like a phantom pain, a reminder of what she lost the moment you stopped giving it away freely. But this only works when your withdrawal is genuine. Women can detect fake games from a mile away. If your silence is just a trick, a strategy, she senses the manipulation, and it backfires. True power lies in authenticity. When you respect yourself more than you chase. When you prioritize your life, your growth, and your standards, you become a force she can't ignore. That's the invisible law of attraction that no amount of texting, flirting, or explaining can replicate. The fascinating part? This regret doesn't always manifest immediately. Sometimes it simmers quietly beneath the surface. She may act indifferent, even cold, trying to convince herself she doesn't care. But deep down, that absence gnaws at her confidence. She starts imagining scenarios where she didn't push you away, where she valued your time, your energy, your boundaries. That mental rehearsal fuels desire, intensifies regret, and subtly drives her back toward you, if you haven't already moved on to higher standards. Most men panic when they feel her pull. They rush, they text, they beg for attention. That's exactly when the spell breaks. The true art isn't in returning immediately, it's in maintaining composure. Silence isn't just a tool, it's a test of patience, a measure of emotional dominance, and the ultimate amplifier of regret. Ask yourself this: how often do you chase only to be ignored, while the very thing you desire most, her acknowledgement, her attraction, slips further away? Imagine flipping the script, stepping back, and letting silence do what words never could. That's not revenge. It's psychology, finely tuned and brutally effective. Now think, has a woman ever reached out after you stopped chasing, leaving you surprised at her reaction? That's the quiet proof that absence creates desire, and that regret is born in the spaces you refuse to fill. Here's the hidden truth that almost no man ever realizes. Women obsess over what they feel they cannot control. When a man withdraws, he is no longer predictable. He becomes an enigma. That mystery awakens something primal, a combination of fear, longing, and curiosity. She begins to replay every interaction, every word, every laugh, searching for clues about why you suddenly stepped back. That mental energy, it's a magnet, pulling her closer, even if she fights it consciously. Regret is born in the brain before it ever reaches the heart. When she realizes she no longer has easy access to your attention, her mind kicks into overdrive. She starts analyzing your behavior like a puzzle, trying to decode your intentions. And the harder she tries to rationalize your absence, the more she fails. That failure, that inability to grasp control, creates tension. And tension is what fuels attraction. Women crave resolution, but when it's unattainable, desire intensifies. Here's the nuance. It's not about her chasing you blindly. That rarely lasts. True power comes from maintaining your value and boundaries while letting the subconscious work. She might feel annoyed, confused, even defensive, but that emotional roller coaster is exactly what makes your presence irresistible. Every thought of you triggers dopamine. Every imagined interaction triggers nostalgia. And every memory of who you are without your constant attention amplifies her internal regret. The fascinating part? Women are wired to connect scarcity with worth. If she can't have you easily, she begins attributing qualities to you that she may have ignored before. He must have standards. He must value himself. Maybe I pushed him too far. Suddenly, your absence paints you as a man of rarity, a prize she unconsciously feels compelled to earn. That psychological mechanism is far stronger than any charm, flirt, or social media post. Many men ruin this dynamic by breaking silence too soon. A single text, a desperate reach, a hint of neediness, anything that breaks your composure shatters the effect instantly. Women may still feel attraction, but the internal tension that fuels obsession and regret disappears. True mastery is not about games, it's about emotional discipline. It's about understanding that your worth is not tied to her approval, and that by honoring yourself first, you awaken in her a desire that feels uncontrollable. Here's the hard truth. When she feels regret, it's often mixed with guilt. She may try to rationalize her behavior, distract herself with other attention, or even convince herself she didn't care. But deep down, the absence of your presence creates a silent echo she can't ignore. That echo grows louder each day you maintain your boundaries, each day you live a life beyond her control. And it is in that echo that real attraction, desire, and longing are born. This is why men who understand female psychology never chase blindly. They withdraw strategically, not as punishment, but as a statement of self-respect. Women feel it, whether they admit it or not. Your silence becomes a mirror reflecting what she never fully appreciated until it was gone. The regret she experiences isn't superficial. It's a deep recognition of loss, desire, and missed opportunity. Ask yourself, have you ever noticed her subtle attempts to reconnect after you stopped being readily available? Those moments reveal the truth. Absence doesn't just create longing, it awakens obsession. It triggers the primal, undeniable desire to reclaim what feels lost, even if she won't say it aloud. Now let's confront the truth most men are too afraid to admit. When you cut her off, when you step away without explanation, you are activating a part of her mind she doesn't even know exists. It's instinctual, primal, and impossible to fully control. She begins to replay every shared moment, every intimate conversation, and every laugh, not just because she misses you, but because she's realizing what she took for granted. That realization? It's electric. It shocks her into awareness, and regret becomes unavoidable. Here's what's fascinating. Women often don't act immediately. They may resist, argue, or even appear indifferent. That's the paradox. The deeper the attraction, the more internal conflict they feel. They are simultaneously pulled toward you and pushing against the desire to admit it. That internal tug of war creates a powerful emotional storm, one that men who chase constantly will never witness. Silence, absence, and emotional independence are the tools that reveal the hidden layers of attraction that words alone cannot touch. And here's the psychological kicker most men never understand. Regret is most intense when it is combined with admiration. When she realizes that the man she could no longer control still lives with dignity, confidence, and boundaries, she begins to idealize him. Every flaw she once overlooked now seems forgivable. Every mistake she once criticized is now a lesson she wishes she hadn't ignored. That combination of regret, longing, and admiration is what triggers obsession, the deep magnetic pull that most men spend a lifetime chasing but never learn to wield. But this only works when your absence is grounded in authenticity. Women feel desperation like radar. If your silence is fake, if you're trying to trick her, it backfires. The true psychological principle is simple. Value yourself, prioritize your life, and let your presence, or absence, speak louder than any words. When you do this, her mind starts doing what no man could ever force, questioning her choices, evaluating her actions, and feeling the undeniable pull to reconnect with the man who refuses to be ordinary. The regret you trigger isn't just emotional, it's transformative. It forces her to reflect on herself, her decisions, and the way she treats the men in her life. That internal reflection, combined with desire, creates a magnetic tension she can't ignore. It's a tension that compels her to reach out, to seek validation, to try and reclaim what she feels slipping away. And when she does, you hold the power, not in words, but in presence, composure, and the quiet certainty of your worth. Imagine this. Every time you withhold attention, every time you prioritize yourself over her approval, you are planting seeds of desire she can't erase. She may act indifferent, but behind closed doors, the regret grows. Every laugh you shared, every late-night conversation, every subtle moment she took for granted becomes amplified. That's why absence is more powerful than pursuit. That's why silence is louder than words. So here's my question for you. Think about the last time you stopped chasing her, truly withdrew, and noticed her reaction. Did she start to rethink her actions? Did you feel the subtle shift in her attention and energy? Comment below and share your experience. If you found this truth eye-opening, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who needs to understand female psychology at this level. Because the moment you master this, everything in relationships changes forever.